Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, commented, and subscribed on the channel. It's been great. It's been really cool to meet a lot of you, to talk to each and every one of you. To the newcomers, welcome. On this channel, we discuss everything. I'm not really a political guy, but we can tap into it. But tonight, we're going to talk about reinventing yourself. Reinventing yourself is probably the hardest, but yet most rewarding thing that you will do for you, your family, and your future. A lot of people want to know, how do I reinvent myself? And I'm going to tell you, the number one thing holding you back when it comes to reinventing yourself is caring what other people think. Caring what other people think will stop you in your tracks to getting to the next level. Because to get to the next level, it's going to always call for a new you. Picture the kid in high school going into college, then he goes to law school, and now he's a lawyer. You understand that? High school, college, law school, lawyer. That was like 4 levels right there. You may not have really noticed it, and he probably didn't either. I mean, when I was that age, I wouldn't have noticed these things. I know I didn't, because I reinvented myself multiple times as a young man and had no idea. And if somebody would have told me, I probably still wouldn't have fully understood it. The first thing that I could tell you is to figure out who you are. And if you cannot figure out who you are, because I know that is very difficult, especially when you're young. I mean, hell, 40 years old, I still don't know what I want to be in life. I still like to try everything and do everything. So I'm not sitting there saying it to you like it's so easy, because I get it. It is difficult to know who you are. Then decide who you want to be. Pick a character. We're all characters. Pick a character. What is your character? What does your character do? Who is your character? You're in the Great Depression 2.0. All throughout history, you're a living historical figure right now. All throughout history, you kept hearing about these characters all in school. All these different characters and what they did. Whenever they tell you about the Great Depression, all they really talk about is the poor people. They don't ever tell you about the millionaires from the Great Depression. They don't ever want to talk about that. Nobody ever wants to talk about all the rich people in the Great Depression. It's just the poor people. What did the poor people do to survive? What did the poor people do to get this and get that? They don't ever tell you. Why is that? Why is that? Why does society do us like that? They always want to talk about the less than the have-nots and not the have-mores. You know what I mean? Why do we always do that to ourselves? Knowing that there were people thriving at that time. So you need to fully understand that you are a historical living character right now. Who is your character? What are you going to look up and tell your grandkids at some of the worst financial times in American history or world history, honestly? What story are you going to be able to tell your grandkids? You going to have that story of a poor person eating beans on a wood-burning stove, freezing in the winter? Or are you going to have the story of a triumphant, thriving man or woman, business owner? What is the story that you're going to tell? Like I said, I know that's more difficult. It's easier said than done. So it's hard to know who you are. But if you will take the time to sit down and decide who you want to be and be serious, cut the bullshit, cut the fluff, cut the fluff. Excuse me. Cut the riding down the highway in a Lambo, with some hot girl or whatever. Women, whatever goes on in your snow globe. I don't know. Whatever. Cut the fluff. Who are you? Picture your life 30 years from now. What's it look like? Do not say you'll be dead, because you won't. All right, that's just, I don't want to hear that stupid. I don't want to hear that. Let's tap into that real quick, because I know somebody is. I could feel that type of energy that somebody's saying, I'll probably be dead. Then brother, die on the road. All right, if you think that I would love to be an actor, but I don't have time, die on the road. What if you do have time? What if you make it? What if you get cast for Old Man in the Sea? You know what I'm saying? What if you're the next Herschel of The Walking Dead? not the part where he gets his head cut off. Understand, I don't care how old you are. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing, because you don't know how much time you have. If you're 60 years old, you might wake up perfect health at 95. I don't know how much time you have. You don't know how much time you have. Or you might be dead at 65. Wouldn't you like your grandchildren and your children to see you chasing a dream at 60, 65 years old, than sitting on the porch complaining about how life's unfair and you didn't get to do this and that? Go chase that dream, man. Die on the road. I can't stress that enough. Die on the road. So let's project ourselves up there 30 years from now. Who are we? Where are we going? What are we doing? All right, you're 30 years old. What does 60-year-old you look like? What are you doing at 60? Are you retired with multiple single family homes, gardening? Cool. That's great. That's great. Are you a 60-year-old writer? Are you writing screenplays and novels? Love it. Are you a 60-year-old painter? Cool. What does 60-year-old you look like? So if you don't know who you want to be today, what is the plan for when you're 60? Now, once you've tapped in, this is personal, and you don't need to go telling people. You don't need to sit down and tell people your hopes and dreams. Like I've told you guys, that shit's a big ball of fire inside your chest. And as soon as you start telling people, your freaking flame, your light gets a little bit dimmer, because people will shit all over your dreams and put it out. So do not go around telling people what you're going to do with your life. It's not their business. The right people, the right tribe will find you. They will find you and they will push you forward and help you. 60-year-old you, you're 30 years old. We're thinking 30 years out. You got 60-year-old you in your mind of whatever that is. I'm retired with 10 multifamily, with 10 duplexes. I'm retired on the beach in Miami and I own 10 duplexes. Great. So what you have to do, if you know that's the life you want, or I want to be a 60-year-old writer, then you need to start writing now. If you want to be a 60-year-old novelist, if you want to be a 60-year-old actor, if you want to be a 60-year-old real estate developer or 60-year-old real estate investor or 60-year-old stockbroker, if that's really what you want at 60 years old, then you need to say goodbye to everybody you used to know. And right now at this moment, make a conscious decision that I have to become that person. I have no choice. If I want my retirement to be 10 single family homes and walking the beach in Miami at 60 years old, I have to start now. I have to start studying real estate now. I have to start studying real estate and business and consuming nothing but positive, professional, personal development information. None of this shit is easy. The problem that I see with most people is that they want it right now, and it does not happen. It's not a scratch off. Some people get lucky. If you hit the lottery, look what happens to those people. They end up broke. Those people hit the lottery and then they're right back broke. They have nothing to show for it and they've wasted all of it. And then they're out there just bumming around and broke. None of this is easy. And if it's given to you, it's not worth it. You will not cherish it. You have to start right now. There's an old guy I used to go to the gym with. And I remember I was working out. I didn't say nothing to him, but I remember I was working out and some young guy came up talking to him and was like, he said, man, I hope I look like that when I'm your age. Because the old man was like 78, I think. He was like, that dude was built. And young guy was in his early 20s and was like, man, I hope I look like that when I'm your age. And the old man said, well, you don't now. And I know exactly what he meant. He meant you ain't putting that work in now. You ain't going to be putting it in at 78. So if you're wanting to wake up and be, 60 years old with 10 single family homes and walking the beach in Miami, or you're wanting to wake up being 60 years old and writing screenplays and novels, or you want to wake up at 60 years old with a small farm, multiple animals in a garden, it's not going to happen unless you start now. And that is reinventing yourself. That is reinventing yourself for the long haul, for the long term. Decide who you want to be 30 years out and come back here and rebuild. So Everything behind you is behind you. It is the past. It is over and done with, and you can't go back that way, nor should you want to. It's back there for a reason. Every bad relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband, it's back that way. It is gone. You can't go back, and nor should you want to. It is over and done with. Leave it where it was at and be done with it. And sit down right now and say, I'm going to move forward in my life. I want to be a 60-year-old farmer. I want to have 10 acres, a nice little house. I want to have, multiple animals, cows, chickens, pigs, and I want a garden. You got to start now. What's that farmer look like? What's that farmer look like, huh? He's debt free, right? That old farmer, his land's paid for. He's debt free. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? He's minding his business. I doubt he's playing around on the internet, right? I doubt he's sitting there scrolling Facebook and Instagram and right? You got to start now. I can't stress that enough. You have to start right now. It is the most grueling process that you are going to go through. People are going to make fun of you. You're going to lose most of your friends. They're going to talk shit about you. It's just what it is. But it's not going to happen unless you're willing to start right now. Reinventing yourself, like I said, is the hardest, but yet easiest thing once you can do it one time. There's all kinds of fluff out there. People are going to tell you, go buy new clothes, go get this, go get that. It's bullshit. All that is bullshit. You go buy new clothes, what happens? You need new clothes in a year. We're talking the long haul, man. We're talking, and everything I've told you guys coincides. This goes into monk mode. This is where you cut people off. This is where you cut people off. This is where you stop labeling yourself. There is no more, I'm a drunk, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I used to do drugs. I used to snort cocaine. I used to smoke crack, or I used to be a heavy weed smoker. It's over. Stop labeling yourself. There is no way that I would survive on planet Earth if I walked around always saying, oh, I'm an alcoholic. I can't drink. I don't drink. Just straight up, I don't drink. If the people around you can't understand that you don't drink for whatever reason, then you don't need to be around them. Alcohol is not for everybody. It's very bad. It's horrible on your body. I mean, I've had a bunch of alcohol. Horrible. 10 years in the Army. I've had a lot of beer, a lot of liquor. Horrible on the body. I don't mess with that stuff. You might catch me drink something at Christmas time, but alcohol is horrible. And it's legal. They always legalize everything that's bad for you that keeps you from moving forward. Now we've legalized weed. Weed's better than alcohol, but at the same time, you're not productive. I don't care who you are. I don't care how productive you think you are. When you get high, you're not. You stand over in the corner vacuuming the same spot for 30 minutes. You sit around giggling and laughing, eating Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops and chocolate chip cookies and talking shit and doing nothing. You folded the same shirt 3 times. Weed is horrible. It makes you feel productive and procrastinating. One of the number one things you can do to start reinventing yourself is delete social media and get away from your loser friends, the people that don't have the same values, hopes, and dreams that you do. Get away from them. You're sitting here. How the hell do you expect to get to the next level? And how the hell do you expect to reinvent yourself when you're still hanging out with the same guys from the football team? Oh, Joe's got 3 baby mamas now. And look at Jerry. He's still working over there at the car wash. And oh, look at Tim. Tim's over there at the freaking waste station. He's still over there working at Pilot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be like Joe with 3 baby mamas, or Jerry at the car wash, or Tim at the Pilot? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Oh, look at Sarah. She's still doing braiding hair in her kitchen. That's what you want? You want to be like Sarah, braiding hair in the kitchen? Cut them loose. Ain't no hard feelings. You wish them the best. Like I told you before, man, when I had to let people go, I had all intentions on coming back around to bring them with me. And by the time I was ready to circle back around to get them, they had badmouthed me and slandered me so much just for me taking care of myself. Man, I left them there. And bye. I have no desire to go back and get anybody. And you shouldn't either. You can't climb this ladder or this mountain or this hill. You can't do this holding on to people. It is dead weight. It is dead weight. Your tribe will find you. Hey, quit. Your tribe will find you. They will meet you in the middle. Once you get to the next level from where you are now, somebody will seek you out. They will see you from afar. There's an old adage of one fisherman always sees another one from afar. A fisherman always sees another one from afar. If you go down this journey of reinvention, of personal development, self-care, people will latch on to you. Now it's going to be up to you to figure out which ones are good and which ones are not. Because when people pick up your vibe, when they pick up your vibrational energy, that's oh, I like his vibe, I like his energy. When people pick up your vibrational energy, they want to grab onto it. There are people, those energy vampires. You guys heard all this stuff. We don't need to tap into that. But there are people that will suck the life out of you. They will grab onto you and they will not leave you alone, and they will suck the freaking living life out of you. I don't have any friends. I do not hang out with people. I literally, when I say I don't have any friends, I got some old army buddies that I could call up and we could laugh and joke and pick it up where we just left off. I hadn't seen them in 10 years. But I do not go to the bars and clubs. I do not hang out with freaking losers. If you're not above, if you're not where I'm at and trying to grow or above me, I don't want to be around you. Some of you guys on here know exactly what I'm talking about. I see you. I see who you are. I know that you're trying to chase a better life for you and your family. I freaking commend you. I see everything you're doing, and I know it is hard and I know it is difficult, and this shit is not easy. You need to watch out for the snake oil salesman. You need to watch out for the people constantly, buy my course, buy this, buy that. The shit they're trying to sell you, you can literally go to Books A Million and buy it for $30 and start reading. You can go pick up 10 real estate books at Books A Million and run you about $300 cheaper than any of their courses. And you basically just got you a freaking master's of real estate. I'm not exaggerating. Books A Million is your best kept secret. You do not need another college degree. You need Books A Million. You will learn so much from there. But I want you to understand, you can think, you can pray, you can go outside and dance in the sun and the rain and the clouds and the wind. You can go make smoke signals. I don't care what you do. But until you take action, nothing is going to happen. Nothing. Nothing is going to change in your life until you take action. And I'm talking about hardcore, dedicated action. If you need to vision board. If you need to write it down, plan it out, do that. Write it down. Make a plan, very detailed plan, and date it. By this day, I'm doing this. By this day, I'm doing this. By this day, I want this. I'm going to have this. And get serious. You cannot expect other people to come with you on this freaking journey because it is your journey. Everybody is not trying to make movies. Everybody is not trying to be a real estate investor. Most people, literally, most people just want to sit on the porch with Tim, Jerry, and Joe and smoke freaking weed and drink Bud Lights. Most people do not want to wake up at 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m., do their educational process of reading and studying whatever subject fields they're into, whether it's real estate or business or math or English, whatever you're doing. Most people do not want to wake up at 4 a.m. and study real estate and then be at work, 6:30 a.m., work a 10-hour day and then come home and deal with the family. Most people don't have that drive. If you're a self-driven person, man, I want to know you. And that's why I created this. That's why I came out. There's so many reasons I brought this platform out, because I wanted to be able to talk to my sons in the future. And then I picked up traction with you guys. And so now I'm here. And it's like I told you before, I wanted to go and try and be an actor. And the woman at the school was like, we don't have that program. The lady retired, but we have media broadcasting. I'm like, what the hell is media broadcast? I was like, radio? She's like, yeah, it's radio. I was like, I don't want to do radio. And so I didn't go to school. Now look at me. Freaking look at me right here doing these things right here. Success leaves clues. I've told you that over and over again. Success leaves clues. The easiest way to get what you want out of life is to find someone that has already done it and follow their path, is to do what they have already done. Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces. Okay? This covers a lot of Greek mythology. It covers a lot of different bases. The hero's thread. Follow it. If you want to do or get what somebody, if you want to be the next Denzel Washington, all you have to do is dive deep into his life, do exactly what he did, and then some. And you will be the next Denzel Washington. And for some reason, if you are not the next Denzel Washington, look at where you landed. It's going to be a hell of a lot better than where you're at. You understand? So when you go through the process of reinventing yourself, the number one thing that is going to hold you back is you worrying about what other people think. What are they going to say about me? They're going to laugh at me. Well, look here, buddy. They're talking shit about you right now anyways. You ain't got no money. You're already broke. They're already laughing. They're already talking shit. So why don't you go buy a 3-piece suit, put it on, and walk around the neighborhood? Fuck them. You understand? Start acting like the person you want to be now. Don't sit here and say, I don't know who I want to be. I don't know who I want to be. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. What does 30 years from now look like? Come back to reality. I've told you and taught you guys mountaintop thinking. Come back to reality and build that character. You're a living historical figure right now on planet Earth. Once again, all throughout history, we've always been told about characters. Who are you? What's yours? What are they going to say about you? That's how you reinvent yourself. I really hope that explains it. And I'm so serious that the only thing keeping you from moving forward with the person you want to become is what you think somebody will say about you. Once you can get control of that and get past that, sky's the freaking limit, man. Once you can quit caring what other people have to say or think about you, sky's the freaking limit. There is nothing you can do or say to me, especially on the internet, that's going to bother me. Nothing. Hey, we had a great question tonight. Hope that helps. I hope that answers your guys' I hope I explained that well enough for you. Normally, when I do something like that, I get feedback. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking to somebody face to face in person and I get feedback. So it's a little difficult for me to give you guys these things with no back and forth interaction. But I hope that explains how to reinvent yourself. It really is the hardest, but yet easiest process. Once you've done it one time, you can do it for the rest of your life. I've reinvented myself multiple times and I'm going to reinvent myself multiple times again. You guys are going to watch me reinvent myself right here on this freaking channel. You're going to look up in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you're going to be like, damn, I remember when that dude did this. I remember when that dude did that. You got to keep your eye on the ball. I have people that are way ahead of me, light years ahead of me that I chase. I will probably never catch them because they are that far gone. And I don't think or know if we have enough time on this earth for me to get to them. If I had infinite time, I would get to them. But they are twice my age, and that's who I chase. They are already 30 years ahead of me. You understand? So I'm chasing somebody that's had a lifetime before me, and I'm trying to fast track it and get to where he's at. That is the hero's journey. That is the hero's thread. Pick a person that's where you want to be and do what they did to get there. Man, and you can't do that carrying on dead weight of other people. You just can't. I hope that helps. I want to answer this question before we ended tonight. It's from Wild Rose Cottage. Wild Rose Cottage 9844. She said, great video again. I'm the mom you were talking about the other day, and I forgot to add in my response when you mentioned maybe getting a 1-bedroom apartment for a while. I currently own my house in a small town, but I've been looking into selling and moving to the larger city we are always in, but I'd honestly only have a couple hundred, and I think I'd regret it long term because I really don't think I'd be able to buy anything else for at least a few years. I understand that. My homeowner's insurance recently doubled after a hailstorm last year, making my payment $200 more a month. I'm kind of getting priced out, but I think I'm going to try and make it work as long as possible. I'm wondering, would you touch on how to know if someone to sell or oh, I got you. I'm wondering if you would touch on how to know if you should sell or stick it out. For reference, I paid $120 at a 4.25% interest for a two bath, all the expensive stuff was replaced before I bought it, furnace, AC, right. So you got basically a new home. 4.25, man, that's good. That's good. Probably, I don't know what the rates are now. It's probably better than that. Now 120. So I'd say that you're probably in a small town. What are you in a small town? 35, 50,000 people. So how do you know if it's time for you to sell or not? Honestly, I'll put it to you like this. I don't know what you owe on it. If you got some equity in it built up, then by all means, you got to make that decision. I'll just be honest with you. Given the current state of America, I realize you may not like your small town. I realize you probably do want to go to a bigger city. Now, the only reason I'd be looking at going to a bigger city if I was a homeowner in a small town right now is for the job market, because you obviously want to move somewhere with an economy so you can make more money. I completely get that, but is it going to average out? Are you going to be spending more in rent? Like let's say that you make 40 grand a year where you live in the small town, but you can go to the big city and make 60 or 65. But now your rent's doubled or your mortgage is doubled. So that 65 is really like you're only making 45 now or 50. So you're not making too much of an increase. And then you got to deal with, being there in the big city. Can your daughter maneuver it? I think the child safety and things like that. I'm not trying to hinder you from doing it. You obviously got to do what's best for you. I understand your situation because I was almost in it. I was renting in a small town at $1,100 a month, had a decent 2-bedroom townhouse. And I decided that, the job market wasn't there. So we moved to pay more in rent for a better job. So I completely understand. If you got equity and you can make some money off of this home, then why not? I mean, yeah, it's very possible to go ahead and sell it and then roll that over use that as a down payment into a new home, as long as everything else averages out. We didn't discuss it, but as long as everything else, as far as your credit, your debt to income ratio, all those things average out to put you into a new property, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Take a chance and go. But I'll be honest with you, man, if I was going to sell that house and move to a bigger city, I wouldn't be looking to buy another house. I don't know your complete income, but if you can afford it, then I think that your daughter, you didn't say, I can't remember the age, but was it a daughter? Anyways, I threw myself off track trying to figure out your life. But moving to a big city, if you can afford it, look at luxury. Just go ahead and look at luxury. Take your mortgage right now and look at your home. Like, okay, we got this 2-bedroom home here in this small town. We're paying what? What are we paying? $1,000 a month for it, for mortgage, paying, roughly $1,000 a month mortgage. But I can move to the big city at $1,500 a month and I get a gym and a pool for 15. You know what I mean? And you don't have to maintain anything. You don't have any maintenance on anything. So there's that option. I personally like that option, especially if you got equity in this home, or if that big city is close enough, maybe this home is your first rental. Mind blown. Maybe this home is your first rental property. Maybe you find you a good tenant. You don't try to bust their head on it. You don't try to make real income off of this. You just get your mortgage paid down. So let's say your mortgage is $1,000 a month. You just charge them $11. You're not trying to bust their head at $15 a month and this and that. You just find you a decent tenant and you charge them $11 to take over that mortgage, and they pay that mortgage down. You and your kid move off to the big city. You don't have to worry about that house. The city's still, the small town and the city are within driving distance and a couple hours away, right? Hour or so away. And you freaking allow that to be a rental property. And you can run back home if you need to check on it. You can run back to your small town and check on it if you need to. That mortgage is getting paid down. You and your kid are up in the big city. You're making more money. You're living in a luxury apartment. You freaking got the gym, the pool. You got brand new everything in there. None of the maintenance, none of the upkeep is on you. And when it comes time, let's say 2030, this mortgage has been paid down a lot. Dump it. Whatever the current market value is at that time, you walk away. You're going to, at what you bought it for in 2030, you're going to get that back. As long as you maintain the property, you're at least going to get that back, and you didn't pay for all that. You get what I'm saying? So there's that option. I hope that I'm explaining that. Other than that, I would say that the rest would be on you, but I will leave you with something that when I get scared, something that rings true, and I do believe this to be true. And I'm not sitting there telling you to base your life off of this, but I believe it to be true, and sometimes I don't act on it. But I do believe that success is on the other side of fear. I believe when you do things that are very scary, the outcome is great. There's a big reward on the other side. Success is on the other side of fear. So if you're afraid to move to a big city just because it's a bigger city, but the job market's better, I think your daughter, I believe you said you had a daughter. For some reason, I keep wanting to say daughter, but your kid, I don't know their age, but they will learn to navigate it. They will learn to navigate this town, and they will be thankful that you got them out of the little town. Because when I brought my son to the city, he's so thankful I got him out of the little town just so he can maneuver around and do things and be his own person, his own boy. In little towns, there's always somebody talking about you. There's all, you get to where you know people, and people think they know you a little too much in little towns. You end up getting the rumors and the lies, and I'm serious. That's what little towns are. And you know it. If you've been in that little town a long time, then you know it. You got the rumors and lies. Everybody knows about your breakup. Everybody knows about, whatever. And even if they don't know, they think they do because somebody told them something, and it just trickles on and on and on. And I can't do little towns anymore. I grew up in one. I lived in one most of my life. I'm not going back to it. I'm not. Maybe when I'm super old and want to retire, little towns would be good then. But right now is the way I am. I can't do it. So that might not be a bad idea to make that your first rental property, your first investment property. Move to the big city, rent, and that way, if you don't like it, all you got to do is finish out your lease, and then you can go back to your old house if you want to. It'll still be there. It gives you a crutch, something to fall back on, a plan B. So yeah. I mean, you got to figure out the math. Don't just solely say 1,100 because I said that. You're gonna have to figure out the math with your renter, with your home insurance, with your mortgage, with everything you got going on. You'll have to figure out the own math on what you can rent it for. But I would say rent it at the bottom dollar. Find you a good tenant. Let them move into it if you want to go that route. If you got equity in it and you just want to dump it and get out from under it and be free without a ball and chain, dump it, take the equity off of it, pay your taxes and everything. I don't know how long you said you lived there. Pay your taxes if you owe taxes on it, pay the realtor fees, and then move to the big city. Everything going on in the country right now, there's nothing wrong with staying put because we are in worrisome times. But I understand the simple fact that small towns do not offer a lot for employment. So I hope that helps. I do. I hope that does help. And I hope that opened up an idea of maybe you could rent this out. Find you a good tenant. I mean, I'm sure there's some little old couple. There's always people wanting to rent. And, find you somebody good, rent it low. Let them pay down the mortgage. Next 4 or 5 years, sell it. And you'll have all that money for yourself. It's not a bad idea. I hope that helps. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you got any more questions, feel free to reach back out and ask me. I hope that helped you guys with reinventing yourself. It is a hard process, but it is really freaking worth it. Once you do it one time, you will have it mastered. You're going to watch me reinvent myself multiple times on this channel right here. You're going to watch me switch characters. I'm still going to be the same man, but obviously I have to grow. I have to start moving with this algorithm. I have to move with YouTube. I have to move with podcasting. I'm trying to learn all of these things. So you guys are going to watch me shift, shape, and brand over the future. You're going to wake up in 5 years and be like, man, I remember when that dude had 500 followers. Watch. Guys, have a good night.